Hola, Terrans. Bienvenido to the Mysterious CHIRP. This is Raven. Buckle up and prepare for takeoff.
I hear what you're saying, but this just doesn't make sense. I mean, look, we had 1,000...
So you're saying there's a discrepancy
Yes,
in the cargo container rental fees?
exactly.
Because...
Utsaha is like Muixauk, mix. In its ore state, it's stable and takes up more space. So the insurance fee is lower, but the unit and transport rate is higher.
And when it's refined, the reverse is true. Plus the added fee for the required refortified containment unit, in which case the item would be on the black opal, not here, and not my problem.
That's the thing, though. Here, look. Document LNR/N3 Theta 1, line 456 for Mynock Technologies, subset of the syndicate Ni Padatin. The insurance rate is for the opal, but the container rate is for the mysterious.
Raven, pull up the manifest for ship block AA23, section 145-326. Enter.
Opening for you. See you later.
Yes?
Good afternoon. I'm Dadita, manager of the performing troupe Trifolium. I'm sorry to interrupt, Chief Mate.
Chief Mate Weathers McQueen. You can call me Chief.
Thank you, Chief. And you are?
Sammy Love, I'm the purser. Thank you for properly filled in paperwork, by the way. I liked the IRL signature in particular.
Yeah. And now that the pleasantries are done with, what do you need? I have cargo to manage and problems to solve.
I need to get our equipment for tonight's circus performance. It's in our contract. Our first onboard show of the trip has to be day 2, then day 5, then 9, and so on. Unless we are at station or planet side, in which case the sequence begins again.
Scots Wales. I assume you'll be performing at the holodeck?
Technically, based on the cubic footage, it's a hold, not a deck. But I believe it's called the Interactive Multi-Use Community Holo Room.
Yes, the hollow room.
Can you leave your equipment set up, or do we need to decrate and recrate every time?
Well...
And I suppose the company's travel policy requires at least one company member as part of that process, huh?
Your policy with us, Article 7, Section 2B, also states you may be in attendance but not participate in adjusting any containers, crates, or pods not belonging unto you that may require to be moved in the process.
Thank you, Sammy. Dadita, I'll have my people get right on that. Although, this late hour, and the fact that it's a common meal time may mean your show begins at 23:59 Galactic time. Let's set up a coordinated roster, shall we? After I get the ball rolling.
Of course. My apologies for the confusion. May I treat you to fish and bits and a pint to make amends?
I wouldn't say no. Sammy, I need to get on this ASAP. We'll deal with your anomaly tomorrow at 0900.
I understand. Dadita, why don't I show you to the ship's pub? I'd love to hear more about your troupe.
Thank you. And thank you, Chief.
Opening for you.
Scots Wales, what a mess!
Buen provecho.
Raven.
I've met Krikna that were less intimidating. Any tips for getting on their good side?
I don't think she has a good side.
My name is Melissa Mackey. I'm the vice president and co-founder at 31 Backpacks. We deliver food and personal hygiene products to at-risk students in Keweenaw, Houghton, and Baraga counties. You can support us by lending a hand, volunteering. We operate out of Glad Tidings Assembly of God Church at 601 Ingot Street in Hancock, 49930. Globally, you can send us a check to the address, or you can use PayPal. We have an account there too. And the best way to keep up to date is via Facebook.
You can go a long time without water, you can go a long time without food, even longer. You cannot go very long without air.
And here he is, the man of the hour. Welcome, Dr. Forsythe, to our humble ship's pub. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. all things considered.
He only suffered mild cell damage in the cryostasis. It's honestly pretty good. There's still a little bit of nerve damage around his toe, and we need to keep an eye on his left kidney. The vitrification wasn't great.
Cryostasis. Yeah, I know all about that cryostasis. Let me tell you something about cryostasis. So, I'm on the planet, the ice planet. You know the one I'm talking about. So I had to stay out overnight with this unconscious pilot who'd crashed, and then we get attacked by the local fauna.
That is why they invented mittens.
Let me tell you, it
That's
was
what
so
mittens
cold.
are for.
The person going on about the ice planet. Who is that?
That's our beta fighter pilot, Luke Cannon. He's also head of ship security.
And the gentleman they are all heralding, Dr. Forsythe?
Him? He was a NASA physicist for Apollo 11 through 17. He's been in cryogenic suspension since the early 21st century.
I imagine this ship's a bit different than the Apollo 11, Dr. Forsythe. Speaking of, let me put in an order for you.
I feel like a sandwich. Neptuna melt, please.
Trust me, Dr. Forsythe,
Marv,
the food here
give
is
me a
so
chuckle
much
witch
better
all around and
than
load
the
it up.
20th century dehydrated food and like the weird metal tubes that you had with the early space missions.
Yes. What was that like, Dr. Forsythe? I mean, having the ship count down the anticipation and then having it blast off in those plumes of smoke and not knowing what would really happen.
Sammi, I have a question about the...
I want to hear this.
And going into translunar injection where you got to get to the moon, and then all the rest of the maneuvers. So all those rocket dynamics were on everybody's mind initially.
And that, sir, merits you your next drink on the house. What'll you have?
I'll have a Tang and tonic.
That Tang over there, 100%.
Who knew Tang would last all of these centuries? That sounds amazing. Amazing.
Sounds chemically.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
That's, yeah, I've never had a tank.
Barkeep, I'll have what he's having. Keep him coming.
You,
How
sir,
about that?
do not have enough credits.
Maybe you don't have enough credits. You ever think of that? You're the one
Can you
who's never
believe that
credits.
story? Oh my God, I hadn't heard about Tang in years.
Hello,
I didn't even know they still made it.
Jacelyn. Sammi, these are my circus colleagues. Junior Michaels.
Zero G, wire walker, ventriloquist, and I make the costumes.
And Jacelyn Mox.
Specialty, master of object permanence, manipulator of senses, causer of confusion. Some call me an illusionist. I prefer to call myself a confusionist. Lovely to meet you.
Sammi Love, ship's purser.
I have not had too many.
And who's that?
That's the head of ship security and our beta fighter pilot. He's actually pretty good, but he heard you were performing tonight, and his one fear is clowns. So you're not seeing him at his best.
Give me about 5 minutes with that man, and I will teach him to be down with the clown.
What about everybody with the NASA physicist? Are they crew members?
Most of them are R&D for the 3 different companies in the syndicate that chartered the Black Opal and the Mysterious. But the one in the red shirt is Sevet, our all things cryo, superconducting, and condensing expert. He's in engineering. Marv is the head of food systems.
Door closing. The ale is stale. I highly recommend the lager.
And that was Raven, the ship's intelligence system. I'm Chief Mate Weathers McQueen. Dadita, we're all set to transport equipment to the hollow room in 30 minutes?
Oh, I have the wrench.
Yes,
Don't let me forget. I have the wrench.
Praise the horse, Lord.
Hey, so what was it like
Thank
in
you
that
so
ship
much.
anyway? What, too hot? No, wait. Too cold. Oh, man, I wish I'd been there. I work well in any environment.
There were a lot of little nitty-gritty things that become a problem. Well, you can't get up and go to the bathroom. You're right there. You're not going to move. You're not going to go anywhere. You know, when you had to pee, you peed in basically a bottle. Doing the other thing, that was a little difficult. To do that, you had to tape a bag to your butt, do your business, then clean up.
How did you keep track of, like, gas levels or anything? Did you have a recycling type program, like managing oxygen levels, keeping it close to atmosphere, that kind of thing?
So one of the problems is, of course, that odors become a problem. In Apollo, it was really crucial. So you had to wait for the carbon filters to filter out all those kind of things. There's no window to open, no fan to blow it away. You had to circulate it around through a filter, and that takes time. Sometimes the astronauts were gagging, but you get used to it. You get used to working with the people that you're working with. So it worked.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I'm a bit of an environmental guy my own self, and I gotta say, Doctor, that sounds like it must have been incredible. Being there at the forefront of this technology, basically just living in a tin can and somehow surviving out of the atmosphere.
That's exactly right. Sorry, super honored to meet you. I'm Ian. I mean, we're both of us still coming up with new ways to improve these systems. I'm working on one now. Actually, Malco and I both are for Vark Environment. It's pretty neat. I'm trying a different refrigerant, and I think with this new mixture, we can actually get the dwell time down.
1,000 times I've told you, Ian, you need to follow my lead. Take a leaf out of my book, a shot from my bottle. You don't need these large condenser coils. It's not a distillery.
Malco, your new compressor might be more efficient, but it's not going to interface with existing systems. Our smaller clients can't afford to completely retrofit their current systems, and we can't afford to retrofit adapters.
Environment has you in-home systems, and me in the new corporate outreach.
Hey, that's it. We don't need any of this corporate garbage going on in here. Save it. This is a family establishment.
Tumbler, can you put in a couple of orders for fish and bits on Didita's tab? I sure could use a beer right now.
Oh, you're buying? Tumbler, make that 3, please.
Hey, Seven, does this ship have microclimates for the cargo? Is it a different system than the living spaces?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, but it's not like the Black Opal, that Trill ship on our starboard. Trills are their own class of cargo ship.
Do you have Morgovian, Sun Beetle, Etouffee? If you don't, you should get some. It is so good. It is divine, sublime, and when I eat it, I will be supine.
Right then. It's a good thing it will be a very late opening night, and I can justify that expense.
No, what? No,
Marv.
why?
I need Adam and Eve on a shuttle, some rocket fuel but make it hyperdrive, a Saturn with double rings, and a meteor shower but send it through the wormhole.
Sevet, I work for Mizuch Technologies. It's pretty big deal. And, we're deeply invested in bettering your process. So what exactly is the cooling system for the ship's engine and life support systems that you got working here?
So the Mysterious obviously uses a fusion reactor. Those have gotten so much easier with the room temperature superconductors. The electromagnets for controlling the plasma, they obviously still need some kind of cooling because they can overheat and quench and that's really not good, right?
Absolutely.
I know all about the quenching. But what about its efficiency? Level with me. What's its footprint?
It could be better. Things could always be better, right? I'm currently working on, reducing the thermal load, putting in some new shielding.
That's all well and good. But could it be, perhaps, modified, you say, for a smaller system use? What do you say?
Well,
it's funny that you bring that up. I'm in fact pushing this little beauty right here, the Frio 22. They wanted to name it the Skip Tanner, of course, after me, but I declined.
And?
Oh, it just cools 1,000 cubic meters of atmosphere in 5 minutes to 23 degrees as part of the Biosphere Climate Control Unit, and has an adapter for older models, so it integrates perfectly with all the air, moisture, and purifying elements.
So I'm sure you've already adapted for cooling the environment and, of course, taking moisture out of the system and then harvesting that very same water for reuse and reclamation? Yes?
Oh, baby, you name it. We do it. It's basically a super condenser.
Do you think we could maybe adapt that to the engine room to help keep the electromagnets from quenching?
Oh, totally. It can process 1,000 cubic meters of atmosphere down to your selected biospecs in under 5 minutes, with up to 50 degrees Celsius of variance. And it's about the size of my palm.
Your palm.
You're Scots and kidding.
I've heard this bedtime story before. I'm going ahead and say what my dad used to say, balderdash. You expect us to believe this?
I'm a publican, and even I don't
Hey,
believe.
the implications for water farmers in collecting desert areas to more efficiency cooling cities are astronomical. I'm expecting a promotion any day now.
Xavier, can I buy this gent his next? Make it, a gargle blaster.
I cannot believe a gargle blaster. Did that guy seriously
Make that a double.
just
Yep.
order a gargle
Luckily, Xavier's closing up tonight.
I heard that, Tumblr.
Tumbler, like another drink, or are you trying to join us over at the circus?
Skip, I gotta say, I just don't believe you. I've worked at Stanley Cave for 12 years. We've been down that wormhole before, and it's a dead end.
Oh, yeah? Let me just, dig this thing out. Here we go. Check it out.
Oh, guacamole, that is holy.
Sorry. Show's over, folks. I gotta take this call. Hey, Fred, get us a table. Next round's on me for everyone.
Dang. Did he just leave a black chip?
On that note, I'm gonna call it a night. See you tomorrow, Xavier.
Have a good night.
Bye, Dr. Forsythe.
I have to hit my sales numbers for these next 4 stops with the new Stanley K zone, or I'll lose my freaking job.
I gotta go think about this. Night.
Yeah, I think I've reached my limit, too. See ya, Fred. Sevet. Later.
Right behind you,
So that
Malcolm.
was really interesting, though. I'd really like to take another look at Mr. Tanner's specification.
All right, sounds great. I'll see you planet side. Hey, where'd everybody go?
Done for the night.
Some of us are still here. I'd take an Endor Meister if you're still buying.
I am not. I'll have that black chip back, please, Xavier.
That's Ms. Schledhammer, Mr. Tanner. Good night.
Buenas noches.
Oh, for Scott's sake, Cannon, come help me eat this. No one is in their costume. I think you can handle it.
Are any of you actually real-life clowns?
Clowns. Ugh, why'd it have to be clowns?
Well, we have clowning moments in the show, but the actual clowns won't rejoin the troupe until the last stop. They're the A-listers.
Will we be onboarding more equipment prior to this happy reunion?
I don't believe so. Unless one of the major patrons has a special request.
Well, until I have to deal with it, I don't want to know.
Excuse me. What's that? Why have all of the trim indicator lights all turned yellow? Ugh.
It's a ship notification thing. Usually just dust in the ventilator or someone left a vac tube open. It's automatic.
Technically, it's a mellow yellow. Like the drink way back when, meaning yellow alert. But low priority because it's not flashing.
Mellow yellow. For a vac tube malfunction.
I should go see what it is.
Don't let me forget I have the wrench in my bag.
Raven, where's the nearest systems access point?
Opening for you.
As a first-generation college student, I knew that going to Michigan Tech could change my life.
When I first came to Michigan Tech, I had no idea how far it would take me.
The moment I stepped foot on campus, I was welcomed with open arms and found a place where I belonged.
I made friends, studied hard, and had more than a few challenges along the way. But there was never a day that I didn't feel supported by the people around me.
Because of Tech, I'm ready for whatever comes next.
Because of Tech, I'm ready for whatever the future brings.
Visit mtu.edu/tomorrow.
Terminal workstation. Do enter.
More like a tight, boxy alcove. Let's see. Yellow alert. Water recycling system. Of course it is. Raven, is the problem organic in nature? Can we just expect the situation to resolve on its own?
You mean dissolve on its own? Desafortunadamente, the blockages are severe and inorganic.
What happened?
Someone flushed a trip's worth of compressed towels. It's causing problems in sectors 2, 4, and 6. Además, some of the articles are still in motion. All are not yet fully expanded. We expect the difficulties to compound.
Raven, have you identified a potential point of incident origin?
It definitely originated in Sector 4, most likely from the all-access back room on floor 7. It may have also come from one of the private quarters on floors 3 or 4, or one of the empty conference rooms on 6. Es que yo no entiendo la gente. No entienden, no leen, porque my signage clearly states, do not flush hygiene products, do not flush your valuables, do not flush your towel. Please put towels in specified receptacles for recycling. La gente no cogen tiempo para leer una cosa tan simple. Es que... Perdón, mi corazón. I just feel like I can be myself with you.
That's okay. Unscheduled station stop?
Affirmativa. We'll be docking at the next rest area. Nearest commercial spaceport is a Stanley K. Distance 17 hours. Stanley K. Discover the right one for you.
This is going to wreak havoc on my budget.
Thank you, Terrans, for listening to The Mysterious CHIRP. If you want to learn more about the characters, the cast, and the production team, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and our website. You can also support The Mysterious CHIRP on our Patreon page. And now, the credits. The Mysterious CHIRP is a monthly science fiction podcast written by Holly Adams and the cast of The Mysterious CHIRP, and produced by Shearwater Productions and Christopher Plummer at Michigan Tech University. Sound effects designed by Madison Brown and Jack Summers. Dialogue editing and soundscaping by Rainey Alexiev. Music composition by Jonah Rady and Ryan Terrell. Sound supervision by Christopher Plummer and music supervision by Jeff Sherwood. This episode was mixed and mastered by Caitlin Robley and Bella Dimicelli. In order of appearance, this episode was created with the incredible voice talent of Sanya Simmons as Purser Sammy Love, Jessica Cooney as Raven, Carmen Wilson as Chief Mate Weathers McQueen, Connor Fleming as Dadita, NASA physicist Dr. Robert Forsythe as himself, Stephanie Johnson as pub tender Xavier Schleithammer, Dan Ferris as Savitt, Stephen Benedetti as pub tender Tumbler, Susan Cooper as Fred, Joy Steenhagen as Lieutenant Luke Cannon, Emily Babin as Junia Michaels, Sean Scott as Jacelyn Mox, Andrew Joseph Perez as Skip Tanner, John Vertullo as Ian, Ty Bennett as Malku. Additional voices provided by Rainey Alexiev, Logan Allor, Isaac Bowman, Luigi Casadei, Connor Kruger, Bella Dimicelli, Kay Frizonki, Brock Maloney, Otto Nelson, Isaac Noe, and Zane Schaefer. See you aboard the next time.